You spent hours working on your portfolio, you applied to the job, maybe you even got an interview, and then nothing. No feedback, no email, just nothing. Silence. If that sounds familiar, don't worry, you're not alone. And in this video, I'm going to walk through the real reasons you didn't hear back about that role and what you can do to fix it to get your dream job in the games industry. Let's get started. Hello everyone, I'm Piers Duplock, producer and consultant in the game industry for the last 15 years. And in that time, I reviewed a lot of CVs. I've made a lot of hires. I've made even more rejections. So I want to use my experience to try and help you land your dream job in the games industry. Starting with reason one of why you didn't get that job: you're too generic. This is the one I see most commonly, and it's the one that, is most understandable as well. You don't want to be tailoring your CV to every role because that takes time. If you're sending out hundreds of CVs, that's a lot of time investment, but it is very noticeable to employers. So it's something that we need to take into account. If your resume or your portfolio or your email that you're sending can be sent to every studio or any studio, then it's probably too generic to be taken seriously. It doesn't have to be anything big, but the studio will need to know why you want that job, the job they're offering. They will want to know how you fit their style and the work they're making. They will want to know the value you will bring to their team. And each studio is different, so to answer those questions will be slightly different per application. Now, like I said, to fix this, it doesn't have to be a big thing. A small amount of personalization goes a long way. Referencing one or two of their games, big plus. If you're submitting a portfolio, if you're an artist designer submitting a portfolio, just tailor it to the style of games they've made already. Then it's a big plus, it's a big win. It shows that detail that you've put in that will apply to the role. The second biggest reason I see for people not landing that dream job is that their role isn't clear in their application. Too many applications and too many applicants are trying to be a jack of all trades. They are the best producer in the world. They are the best designer in the world. They are the best programmer in the world. So when I look at your CV, I'm going to say, I don't actually know what you are the best at. So I'm going to disregard that. I know this one can be particularly tough, especially if you've had a lot of rejections for a certain area. For instance, I'm a producer. If I've done 100 producer applications and I've not heard anything back, I've got a bunch of rejections, whatever, maybe I'm going to go, actually, I'm a pretty good designer as well. So I'll start applying for some design roles with this CV, and I'll put in some programming. I'll apply for some programming roles as well. That's only going to confuse recruiters and up your rejection rate, sadly. Now, we can still fix this. We just have to focus it a little bit more. And I'm not saying you don't have to apply for a design role and a producer role if you don't want to, but just create two different CVs. One focused on design. Here's all the design work I've done, ignoring everything else. And one for production. Here's my producer CV, focused on production and nothing else. And then you tailor that for each role. And as part of that, you need to be crystal clear about the tools and the skills for each of those. The skills a designer has is not the same as the skills a producer has. So it will have to be exactly tailored to the role you're applying for. One thing to remember is companies will check your social media. So be sure if you do send out production CVs that, for instance, your LinkedIn, your Twitter, whatever, is production focused, because if they see you chatting about a bunch of design stuff or programming stuff, they're going to go, oh, I thought this guy was a producer. I'm a little confused now. You know what? I'm going to move on. One special note here for our more junior staff, our students and stuff like that. I know that these kinds of applications can be kind of testing the waters. You don't know quite what you want to do yet, so you're throwing out applications everywhere to see what you like. And I just want to say that doesn't discount that at all. Just land one role and you can definitely stretch into other roles later, and you'll actually pick up valuable skills that will help that stretch later. For instance, me, I started in QA. I'm not in QA anymore. I learned skills. I picked another discipline I wanted to move into. You can do that whilst in the role. Just land something first. The third biggest reason I see for people not getting any callbacks at all is that the applicant is showing potential, but they're not showing proof. Now, what do I mean when I say that? It's more about being told you're passionate about something. Oh, I love video games. I love video games so much, I play them all the time. Or, I've made a video game, here's how I made it. One is passionate and showing potential. Hey, this person's loves video games. I'm sure they would make a good developer one day. As opposed to somebody's already done it. They have the skills. I can see it. I can play their game. In they come. Now, what are the tangible things? When I say proof, what are the tangible things I mean? What a studio is looking for there? Number one, is definitely finished projects. If you can take a project from start to finish, a company will look at you and go, you are already a game developer. Come on in. And that doesn't necessarily mean that has to be a AAA project working at a company of hundreds of people. This could be a solo project you just done over the course of 6 months, a little mobile title, something like that. Just gone through the process of making a game so you know a little bit more than everybody else that hasn't. Another tangible skill that teams will want to see is actually working as part of a team. And I know universities, colleges, schools do love to do team projects. I know not everybody enjoys team projects, but working as part of a team is incredibly important. And for the reason that I think a lot of people don't like working in teams is sometimes you run up against people that you don't want to work with. Sometimes there's awkward situations where somebody isn't pulling their weight. All of these happen in a work environment. We want to see how you deal with that and how you have dealt with that in the past to know how you'll deal with it when it comes up in the future. We also want to see how you handle feedback. Even as a senior employee, you're always still going to be getting feedback. Doesn't matter what rung you're at on the ladder, you will be getting feedback. You'll be being told, this isn't good enough, or let's change this. Why have you done it that way? Always happens. So we need to know that you can handle feedback well, and you're going to be diligent in fixing things. So you can prove that through schoolwork, through a side project, through anything that's put out on the internet. You're probably going to get feedback, so you can show that way as well. And the final point that it's pretty easy these days is use the tools, especially if it's an Unreal company that you're applying for, or a Unity company, or maybe even a Godot company these days. There are a lot of tools that are publicly available. If you're applying to a job where the company is using Unreal, for instance, get familiar with Unreal. You can download it for free. You can play around with it. You can get up to speed before you join the company, before you have any interviews. So you can go into the interview and go, oh, hey, look, yeah, I spent last night in Unreal. I was doing this and this and this. And then they'll go, okay, you're passionate and now has a little bit of experience in the tools that we would use at the company on the project. Another reason for people not potentially getting callbacks is maybe you just don't stand out. I know this sucks, but companies will get hundreds of applications for a single role. So you have to stand out as that one CV in 100 that I want to take into the role. And that doesn't mean you need like flashy visuals, graphics, whatever. Like, it's not stand out visually, it's stand out as a person. Maybe you've written about me on your CV. Tell a compelling story. Tell me why you want this so bad. Make me feel like I need to be friends with you. Something like that. You can also mention your impact. This is typically done through metrics. For instance, if you're a designer who's come in, tweaked a level, and now that level has got 200% more replayability, share that metric. Like, that's going to be awesome. Maybe we want that in our game too. That's brilliant. I want to see that. And finally, in the application itself, be sure to include something like GIFs, maybe some dev vlogs that you've done, maybe even a video application. This is very rarely done, but it's so high impact. I would recommend it to anyone. Do a video application. Say, hello, I'm applying for your role, whatever the role is at whatever company, and tell us why you're passionate about the job. Tell us why you want the role. It's only ever happened once or twice in my career, and I still remember them now. So they stand out a lot. So do it, please. And the final reason I'm going to give you for why you didn't hear back about that role is bad timing. It's not you, it's us. That genuinely happens sometimes. Sometimes HR staff can just genuinely get overwhelmed and they cannot respond to everybody who applied. It's real. I know it sucks, but imagine having to send out 200, 300 emails. Like, that's how many applications we get. So sometimes not everybody's going to get replied to, and that just sucks. Sometimes other complications also come up, like the role got pulled. It's like, oh, sorry, role's not available anymore. Likewise, if an internal hire happened, if you feel like any of these happen to you, there are steps you can do to kind of manage that process. I'd always recommend following up. Not immediately, but just, like 5 days later, 6 days later, just a gentle email, just saying like, hey, I had an email with your company recently, looking for some feedback, looking to know next steps, that kind of thing. I'd always keep an updated tracker of who I've applied to and when I applied to them as well, so that you can come back in a couple of months, update the portfolio, update the CV, wait a couple of months, reapply again, keep coming back to that company because there may be a fit there in the future, especially if you've updated everything. With all that said, I'm now going to give you some final tips moving forward, try and help you out a little bit. So, number one, apply early, not just to open roles, because sometimes companies aren't actively looking, but they could pick you up anyway. So keep that dialogue with the studios open. Number two, start conversations, not just applications. Be on Discord, be on Reddit, be on social media, be present and talking, part of the community, because people notice. I see somebody that's quite prominent in my community apply to my company. Guess what? I'm going to instantly have that connection and I'm going to be more inclined to go with that person. Number three, treat the journey as iterative. It's a process. Please keep working on your portfolio, keep working on your CV, keep iterating it and making it better. It's not a make it once, fire off, that's your CV now, it's done kind of process, because you need to keep improving things and need to keep getting better to make sure these applications hit. Most people will never get a job on the first application, or even the second application, or even the third application. This is a numbers game. It will take hundreds, and you will learn a little bit with each one to the perfect one hits. After all, rejection is not failure. It's all part of the process. It's all part of getting better. Learn from it and then apply that. And finally, and most importantly, don't take silence personally. It's not a reflection on you as a person. It's just volume. It's just luck. It's just any number of these things we've just talked about. So please don't take anything personal when a company does not respond to you. It's not about you. It's probably about them. And that's it. That's my tips for this video. If you've been applying and not getting responses, I get it. It can be frustrating. But remember, it's not you. You're not broken. You just need maybe to get a little better clarity. You need a little bit more proof. You need a little bit stronger follow-up. These are small, incremental things that we can improve to get better at application chances. That's all we're trying to do here. Please let me know in the comments if there's any part of the application process you're particularly stuck on. I'd love to troubleshoot that with you. And if you haven't yet, please check out my other videos on getting into the games industry. Please drop a like and a subscribe. As a smaller creator, it really helps me and I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. Keep those applications going. You can do it. And I'll catch you in the next video.